Hey everyone, I'm live from the Mojave Desert. I live in Joshua Tree now. And for those of you who know me, because you're on my personal page, I'm Rachel Resnick. And for those of you who don't, I'll remind you. And I am really excited to be doing a Facebook Live for a challenge. And I've been lazy about doing it since I moved to Joshua Tree. I lived for 18 years in Topanga Canyon, and I loved it so much. And oh, cool, it's working. And I am a writer. And for those of you who don't know, my first book was called Go West, Young Effed Up Chick. It was LA Times bestseller. So if that offends you, you might want to hop off now. And then the most recent book, and I'm overdue for the next one, I'm working on my next one out here in Joshua Tree, that's Love Junkie, and that was a memoir. So what I want to do is to tell you a little story tonight, and this is set in Joshua Tree. I've been running my own business for 11 years now, and I don't know if you guys can identify, but I was totally stressed one day and just couldn't take anymore. I wasn't able to concentrate, and I was living in Topanga, and Topanga is where all the rich hippies live, and there are all kinds of cool things going on all the time. And I noticed, which was perfect timing, that there was a Maori healing going on. And if you know who the Maoris are, they're those guys who have tattoos all over their faces, and they do that warrior dance, and they're really intense, and I thought they would be able to de-stress me. I mean, if anyone could de-stress me. So I left my work behind, and I wasn't able to get anything done anyway, and I went down to this little place called El Corazon Performing Arts Center. It's a totally groovy place. You walk in, and there's someone playing the didgeridoo, which is this crazy instrument. I don't know if it's a flute, or it's as big as like an elephant trunk. It's just stretched out on the floor, and people are wearing their gauzy clothes and floating around, and it's really cool because the Maori healers, they believe in communal healing. So there were cots set up all throughout El Corazon, and I was really excited about getting one of these warrior guys, right? And instead, there was one woman who was helping with the massage. Her name was Ata, and she was so lovely. She just radiated maternal energy, like Maori maternal energy. And she was the one who was assigned to me. So I wish she'd been my mother, actually. She had this just incredible kindness and radiance about her. And so she started working on me, and people are next to me like screaming mama, and someone else has got a big Maori healer warrior guy straddling him, playing a ukulele, you know, typical Topanga scene. And so Ata, so lovely, starts working on me, and she's kneading my legs and releasing all kinds of stress, and it's really cool. And then she climbs up on top and stands on my legs and is pressing down, and then she's walking up my body, and she's walking on my pelvis, and she's holding onto the rafters above, and it seemed like a great photo op. So I whipped my cell phone out from, of course I had it, being so stressed and overly connected to technology. I whipped it out and took a shot, and Ata stopped. She's holding onto the rafters, and she says, "Rachel, you need your head stepped on. You think too much. You're too much in your head." And I gave the cell phone away very quickly, and she kept walking toward me, and then she stepped on my head really hard. She stepped really hard on my head. It didn't hurt though, oddly. Instead, what happened was time stopped, and I felt more relaxed than I'd felt in a very long time. And I had this vision of a stream of hearts floating up through the sky. And I felt so connected to my heart, and that's what I help people with. through the portal of personal storytelling, whether they have stuckness in any area of their life, or they just want to make their content more vivid or compelling, they want to be more vulnerable. I help them connect to the heart and turn off that crazy, chaotic, stressed out left side of the brain. And that is one of the things I wanted to share with you guys today, because I notice a lot of people are talking about vulnerability and they're gunning for vulnerability in their posts or their content, or also in video. And sometimes I see people talking about emotions and not really connected to it, and that's not effective. And sometimes I see people losing it, which is, it's all cool, and if it works, that's great. It just, there is an art to vulnerability, and what I want to encourage people to do is to write it out first and sluice your veins, bleed on the page, get it 100% out. And then you won't be so falling apart when you're on a video, say, that people will not know whether to listen to your message or to call 911, for example. And so there is an art to it, because you want to craft it. And if you go 100% when you're writing it out and you're kind of processing, then maybe dial it back to 20, 30% when you're sharing in a video. So I wanted to mention this point, that if you want to move others, you have to move yourself first. And I think sometimes we skip that because we're an addictive culture, and that's all about avoiding feeling our feelings. So I wanted to share that tonight, and I hope it's inspiring. And this was so fun to do a Facebook Live, and I hope everyone else will join me. I don't know if anyone had any comments or not, but if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and tap them down below. And welcome to my home. This is, by the way, a picture, since we're inside because it's nighttime. This is the outside. This is the backyard when the sun is setting, and it's my wildly talented photographer friend, Vicki Wicker, took that shot. And so as my last little note, I have an affirmation pillow done by a local artist. I like myself, so let that be another lesson for today. All right, thank you guys so much for joining. I can't wait to see what you post in the little comments, and I hope to see you guys in the desert. We've got a lot of vortexes, or is it vortices out here? And do remember, if you want to move others, if you want to be vulnerable on the page, on the stage, this is the stage. All videos are stage 2. Then what you've got to do is you have to move yourself first. You've got to feel some feelings first, and then translate it into an effective, crafted story or some kind of moment so people can feel it viscerally and join with you. All right, thank you guys so much for joining. I'll see you again soon. Bye.